This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV here at the SMM 2022 with Brian Harton and Wouter de Knapper of Iridium to discuss advances at this global satellite communications company. Gentlemen, to start, it's certainly not news that GMDSS is in the Iridium portfolio, but can you give our viewers an update on where you're at today with the GMDSS system?
Sure. It's first of all, it's great to be here at SMM. This is one of the most major maritime shows in the industry, and we're really glad to be here. And in terms of GMDSS, we are a recognized global service provider for GMDSS. We're very proud to be this service provider for GMDSS because what it's really all about is safety of life at sea. We've been offering this service now for since 2020. We are deployed globally around the world to support the mariners at sea. And when it comes to GMDSS, Iridium's approach is pretty simple. And it can be summarized with what we call the 3 C's: coverage, capability, and cost. So first of all, the coverage. To provide true safety of life at sea, through GMDSS, you got to have a global network, and we have a global satellite network, and it's a brand new L-band network, which is resilient, which is important for the mariners when they're in distress. The other capability, or C, is capability, and what makes Iridium unique with GMDSS is that our terminal is both voice and data capable. In addition to that, we're also combined SSAS as well as LRIT into our GMDSS terminal, which gives it more capability for the mariner to rely on. And then the last C is cost. Because we provide both data and voice in a single terminal, the cost of that terminal is reduced in that you do not have to have 2 different terminals, one for data, one for voice. So we're really proud to be a GMDSS service provider. We work very closely with the IMO and IMSO, our regulator, to offer the service. And we have a great ecosystem of GMDSS service providers that are very experienced at meeting the needs of the mariners at sea. So that's just a really quick snapshot of where we're at with GMDSS.
Yeah, so not only have we brought choice and innovation to the market, but we're really seeing a very broad adoption now of GMDSS in the market. And here at SMM, we get a lot of interest from shipping companies, German shipping companies, but shipping companies from all over the world that really appreciate that innovation that we are bringing to the maritime safety domain. And one of the latest great fleets that is going to adopt now Iridium GMDSS is Jan de Nul. It's a leading dredging fleet from Belgium with a very sizable fleet. And so apart from them, there's also many other shipping companies, but also fishing companies, and even non-SOLAS vessels, so vessels that are not obliged to have GMDSS, but that also want to adopt the GMDSS solution, because some of these smaller vessels need, in fact, maybe you could argue that they need safety the most if you're on a small boat. So we're really seeing very broad adoption across all of the verticals, not only the merchant shipping market.
You have a packed stand here at the SMM. It's good to see everybody out and about again. And I know that talking about Iridium Certus has been a point for you and all of your team. Just to start, while I'm sure many people watching this, reading this, know the Iridium Certis brand, can you just give us an overview of exactly what it is?
Yeah, so Iridium Certis is our specialty broadband solution that we have deployed since a couple of years across land applications, but also in maritime and aviation now. And so what it really provides is a global broadband solution for vessels that they can use as a primary means of communication, but also as a real companion to VSAT type of technologies, because VSAT is a great technology, but it really needs a very strong companion, and that is what we are offering with the L-band based connectivity through the Certus platform. And so on the Certus side, at the show here at SMM, we have 2 unveils, in fact, from our broadband manufacturers, and that is the Certus 200 terminals from Lars Strane and from Intellian. So those are brand new. They will come to the market in the next couple months, and they really complete the portfolio of Certus terminals that we already have here at the show and in the market, and that are deployed on thousands of vessels now.
You know, Iridium, we've been in business for over 20 years, but in 2017 we started the tech refresh of our network. And part of that design intent was to be able to offer, in addition to our legacy certain narrowband services, the ability to offer broadband services, and we named that Certus. And you may ask the question, you know, why Certus? Why is that the brand? Well, Certus is Latin for certain, reliable, and sure. And that really is what Iridium is all about in terms of being focused and staying in our lane of offering service over L-band. We are recognized in the community, specifically the maritime community, as offering primary broadband services, but also VSAT companion services. We're not here to compete with VSAT. VSAT has a very special offer in the marketplace, but that L-band, which is resilient, certain, reliable, and sure, we are almost become the de facto standard for a VSAT companion in the industry.
You know, I'm sure that there are many markets where Iridium Certus has penetrated, but courtesy of seeing that X-Ocean USV on your stand, I understand that it has become a de facto favorite for the unmanned or the uncrewed system market. Can you give a little insight on the importance of the uncrewed system market and the potential that you see for that in the coming years?
Yeah, so the USV market, the uncrewed or unmanned vehicle market, is an emerging market. It's growing a lot. It's not only scientific projects. We are working with real companies that have real applications out in the field. X-Ocean is one of them. They are deploying the USVs for instance, wind farm inspections. And so the Certus technology really lends itself very well to USV applications. And one of the reasons, or there's many reasons, but one of the reasons is our L-band truly global network, and also the hardware that is really small and compact. Because you can imagine that these USVs in a harsh environment of the oceans, you can't sort of put very large movable antennas on these small assets. So with our small, compact, no moving parts antennas, also providing very low latency service and broadband connectivity, is really the ideal fit for the applications that the USVs need to perform. And so in terms of applications, of course, it's first of all the USV itself. The management of that USV, which is command and control of the USV, it is tracking of the USV, and it is also monitoring the system performance. So that is, for instance, what X-Ocean is deploying with the Certus technology. But then, of course, next to the management of the USV itself, you also have the main mission of that USV. There is a purpose for what it is out there. And so there we are having multiple applications that are being used, from sensor collection data, video footage that they capture, situational awareness, and so on and so forth. So the Certus technology really is a very good platform for these USVs, and we have seen broad adoption with X-Ocean, but also with Saildrone, for instance, and with many more platforms out there. And on the larger USVs, or there's also a lot of talk about autonomous shipping, large ships, and there we feel that we can also be a solution in the mix of connectivity solutions, whereby we will always have the pervasive connectivity that we can provide to these assets at sea. So we're very pleased to see that X-Ocean is here and see the adoption in the market today and for the years ahead. So.
Just a couple additional points is one of the reasons that Iridium is being looked at as the provider of choice for these these autonomous solutions is, one is that you've got to have critical communications that are resilient. Right? If you're doing command and control of an autonomous vessel, you've got to have the trust that that communication link is going to be maintained in all kinds of conditions. So we're a natural choice for these kind of solutions. The other aspect of this is the fact that we have world-class value-added manufacturers, or VAMs. They have developed, designed, and manufactured products that can withstand all the harsh environments when you're out at sea, especially on an autonomous vessel where there is no crew aboard. And then the other example, we've got autonomous vessels. You can see the X-Ocean that's on our booth here at SMM. It's been very popular with the audience. But we've also got another sponsorship that we're involved with, and this is with IMOCA, the International Monohull class of racing. And that's another environment. Now those are single-manned crews, but Iridium was the obvious solution there because, again, we are the trusted provider along with our value-added manufacturers and our service providers, so that these racers, when they're out in very harsh conditions by themselves on these vessels for very long periods of time, Iridium is the obvious choice. So those are just a couple examples of markets that we're tapped into, that we're the obvious provider of choice, and we really are excited about being able to expand this going forward.